Unless you've been sleeping under a rock, bro, you've already heard that like this new Blitz mode is coming out. It's supposed to be on Wednesday, right? Real talk, when I first heard about it, I was like, what the hell is this? This is supposed to be a faster paced battle royale mode. I'm like, you mean reload? So like, what is this, a reload for reload? It's got 32 players instead of 40. And it's gonna be on the reload maps and it's gonna be fat. Like why are we doing this? Isn't this gonna split the player base even more? Like, what utility is this going to give us that reload hasn't already? Then a couple of things were revealed to me. Number one, we've had Blitz mode in the past, which I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. I don't even remember what Blitz mode used to be. I don't know what it is. So I'm gonna actually look up a video real quick. We'll watch it together really fast because I don't remember what Blitz was. So that's the first thing. But number two, the more I look into what they're doing with the mode, I'm trying to understand what the true utility of this mode is going to be. I honestly think that this is going to give us a completely different experience from main BR and reload and even OG that I think is needed within the Fortnite arena. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. I still have concerns about it splitting the player base, but we'll get to all that in a bit. First of all, let's just check this out, bro. I just want to see, what did this used to be like, bro? So I feel like I remember this. I feel like I low-key do remember playing this mode. I know it wasn't around for a long time, but I know, so the basic premise of it is faster paced battle royale, which once again, you think that that's reload, right? But this was, if I remember correctly, it was increased farm rate on the mat, so it's way easier to get mats, ammo, better weapons quicker, all that, right? Which once again, to me, just kind of sounds like reload at a glance. God, this gameplay is so slow. Yo, real quick on a side note, I just had to say it, right? Because we're here. But this boggles my mind that people actually want to return. Like they think that this is like peak Fortnite and they want to return back to this. We want OG to be authentic like this. Look how slow everyone's moving and you can't mantle or slide. This does not look fun to me. I'm just gonna be real. This does not seem more exciting. This seems slow as shit. I'm gonna be real right now. This just looks like a normal BR match from what I'm seeing, but apparently this is Blitz gameplay. I don't really see much. Like, what's different between this and like normal BR? Other than the fact that the storm is moving quicker and then the faster farm rate. Is that it? This Blitz mode is insane. New Blitz gameplay for Fortnite. Guys, to be fair, it was perfect for his time. Yeah, once again, yes, I agree with you. That I always say that too, right? Like, this gameplay was good for the time. And once again, the new gameplay will be faster, but all I was saying before was, I just don't know why people would ever want to go back to this. This would be terrible. I would never want to, as an OG player that still loves OG, I just would never want to go back to this. I'm happy that OG has some of the new mechanics now. I don't think OG's perfect. I think it could definitely use some updates, but I don't need this again. But anyway, I guess this is what Blitz mode was, just normal BR, but faster paced. Which I'm sorry, but this still, just looking at actual Blitz gameplay, this still looks insanely slow to me. Once again, people aren't able to sprint or anything, so that makes sense. Moving on. This is the gist of it. So wow, chat, wasn't that exhilarating? Did you feel your heart racing as you watched that classic gameplay? My God. Beautiful. So here's my question, and this is the thing that I'm asking, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys are asking too, right? What the hell is so much different now and back then when it comes to this mode? So from what I can see from the leaks, this is one thing I'm noticing, which is exciting to me. I like that each week has different themes. So apparently week 1 of this mode is going to have exotics. Week 2 is bringing back the avatar items. Week 3 gonna have bad bosses and mythics. Is what I don't know what that means. It says Oasis, and then week 4 is gonna have TMNT, Melee Mayhem on. Oh wait, sorry. The words on the right are the reload maps that are gonna be utilizing the modes. So Venture, Oasis, Slurp Rush. So they're gonna use the reload maps in conjunction with each one of these themes. So when the avatar theme comes, we're gonna have the Venture map. The bad bosses and mythics theme is gonna be Oasis, and then the TMNT Melee Mayhem is gonna be on the Slurp Rush map. Fine, whatever. Once again, to Rifty's point that he brought up earlier, still sounds somewhat redundant, right? But then you start to look at some of the other stuff that's been kind of leaked or hinted at that we might be getting in the next few weeks. So apparently the Dragon Ball mythics might actually become a part of this mode, and that's when I'm starting to actually kind of piece together what the purpose of this thing is. And I think this is a good example of Epic kind of listening to the community. And here's what I mean by that. So the last few months, we've noticed that they've been playing around with LTMs, right? They've been bringing like 50v50. The issue, however, is that they just don't, I don't know, the modes don't hit. They feel slow, they feel outdated. I made a video on it, a lot of us have talked about it on Twitter. So this is what I think Epic is trying to do with this mode. Even though a lot of us haven't liked a lot of the LTMs that have come back, we still see the value in LTMs and we don't mind them returning. I think what they're trying to do, I think the Blitz mode is actually going to be the new home for LTMs. It's not going to be exactly every LTM from back in the day. They're not going to be one for one like how the LTMs used to be. However, this is going to solve the problem of, one, the old LTMs feeling slow, and two, Epic not utilizing the collabs to the best of their abilities. One thing I want to highlight that we talked about a while ago, I think this is back when Getaway was an LTM, right? Last year when we had Avatar, one of the things that we were talking about was, why the hell wasn't Avatar: The Last Airbender its own LTM? Why didn't we have an Avatar: The Last Airbender BR? It was just Avatar Mythics, and you had to collect all 4 elements and get a victory royale, become the Avatar, right? It just seemed like it made sense to do it that way. I think this is what they're planning on doing with this mode. If that's the case, I think that that's smart. If that's the direction that Epic is trying to take it, if they're gonna basically use Blitz Royale, because apparently it's supposed to be a permanent mode, and it's not just limited to mobile, but it's made with mobile in mind. What this allows Epic to do is it allows them to be a bit more free with their IPs in a BR setting. So rather than compromising, for example, the integrity of main BR and removing mythics or exotics like they did last year with Avatar: The Last Airbender, or messing with the loot pool from Reload, what they can do is they now have a dedicated mode that it's naturally already a faster paced battle royale, right? But now they can throw in, for example, someone said this earlier in chat, I forget who it was, but W to you, all anime mythics. So not just the Kameyamama, not just the Deku Smash, but throw in the Hollow Purple. Throw it, maybe we'll see the Naruto collab come back, and we'll get the Kunai and all the other cool Naruto stuff. Maybe we'll get some new Naruto mythics, right? They can have like a full Shonen Jump little mini BR, and it'll be fast paced. It also sounds like this mode is supposed to be faster paced than Reload. I don't know this for certain, but I'm assuming this is going to be the case. It also seems like there's going to be a different level of intensity or danger than Reload. Like some of you guys were pointing out earlier how Reload doesn't always feel as intense to you because you do have the option to respawn in. There is an intensity to that, and that varies depending on whether you're playing solos, duos, or squads in Reload. Obviously, the more people you have, generally speaking, the less tension. With the exception of duos, I honestly think duos is the most intense Reload mode out of them all. Moving that to the side.
Only week with the cars are at Chapter 2, Season 7 Invasion Week.
See, now TCKH is thanking. Thank you for the $5, brother. Yes, that's the kind of stuff that they can do with this mode. That's the utility of it. If they had a wrecked week where it was all the cars in the meta from that time period, but on one of these maps, I would be all for it. I think that would be fun. That'd be a great place for more of the wacky, chaotic, overpowered items. People love the overpowered items, right? I was getting people commenting on my video from Sunday talking about how, oh my gosh, I hate this season because the items aren't overpowered enough, which, okay, that's a wild statement. Okay, whatever, fine. But for people that just like crazy nonstop action, this is going to be the mode for you. Marvel week, a Midas week, a Thanos week. See, here's the thing, chat. See, now that y'all are looking at the potential of this, like, wait, hold on. This is going to be like basically a base LTM mode. So in essence, Epic's saying, look, we've heard your feedback. LTMs were cool back in the day, but they just don't hit the same. Rather than just bringing an old LTM back, why don't we bring a mode that can kind of facilitate LTMs better? Regardless of the LTM that we have in mind, this mode we can basically take an old LTM concept and just throw it on here. For example, if they wanted to do melee weapons only, they could do that on here. If you wanted to do another LTM like catch, so only the explosive items, you could do that on this. There's so much potential for just this mode, and it changes every week. The LTM changes weekly. Once again, that's another thing that we were looking for, right? A lot of us wanted LTMs to come back and swap out the LTMs every week to 2 weeks. If they use this mode to do that, I think that's a W. Now, even though I'm saying this, that does not mean that this is all just candy and roses and sunshine, right? Are there any downsides to doing this? I can think of one main one, and we kind of already touched upon it earlier.
Really hope what you're predicting is true, but Timo, I think Epic should focus more on rebooting Rocket Racing and finishing Ballistic before making some other BR mode.
Shane, thank you for the $10. I understand what you're saying, and although I get it, and I understand where you're coming from, we have to recognize this, right? The Battle Royale format is the majority of Fortnite's audience. Think about the conversation we just had earlier, right? With me changing the direction on this channel and me trying to experiment with other video games. I might like playing Five Nights at Freddy's. Some of you guys have asked me to play Five Nights at Freddy's. We had a decent-sized stream with people watching me play Five Nights at Freddy's. However, the vast majority of my audience does not care. They don't want to see that. I'm not going to get people as invested in me and my content on this channel with Five Nights at Freddy's because I built an audience and a culture around commentary content and specifically Fortnite Battle Royale. When I put FNAF on this channel the few times that I have, it throws the audience and as well as the algorithm for such a loop that it confuses everybody. It's like, what the hell is this? That FNAF couldn't be further from a Fortnite commentary video. Why am I bringing this up? Because it's the same principle when it comes to rocket racing. That doesn't mean that rocket racing's bad. Doesn't mean that it can't even have a place in Fortnite, but that needs to be put on the back burner until we get, until Epic works out some more of these BR-based modes. And remember, LTMs are something that we've, as a community, have been asking for a while. This is them giving us what we have been asking for the most.
Get all these underbaked modes out of here. Hot take, they need to focus on what brings players in and then focus on making those modes the best.
And once again, bro's got the right idea. And listen, this is not to talk down on rocket racing or to talk bad about people that enjoy rocket racing. I understand your love for it. I get that. However, Fortnite needs to do what it does best, and that is the BR genre. They won the BR wars. Fortnite is the #1 battle royale in the world. People love Fortnite for what it is. This is I think a great way for them to introduce collabs and give them a different level of utility than what we're used to seeing in main BR. Once again, let's go back to Star Wars for a second. If they had to put the Star Wars season in this and had this in a rotation for a week and then kept main BR Chapter 6 what it was, people would have been far more happy. The player count would have been higher. Once again, I think this is also somewhat in response to just how impactful LTMs have been inside of main BR, but it doesn't resonate with the community that much, and we've been saying that for the last couple of years. Bro's just giving me money to diss on Tim Sweeney, and I'm just whatever. I'm not here for it. Anyway, we asked for this. Last year, a lot of us said, why the hell do we not have an Avatar Battle Royale? This gives them all the freedom to, 1, not mess with Reload, 2, not mess with main BR, and 3, give collabs the freedom to breathe. Now, what I was getting at before is this. Are there any downsides, potentially, to this becoming a permanent mode inside the game? Yes. And here's what I'm thinking. The biggest concern that I have is further diluting and splitting the player base. Because it's like, to Rifty's point that he brought up earlier, it's just like, damn, bro, another mode? Another BR-based mode?
Next only week.
You get emoji. See, look how chat, look how excited y'all are getting right now, okay? Look at this. Look at all these ideas y'all are coming up with. And I think these are, I honestly think at some point in time, they will all happen. I think these are all viable options. But let me get back to what I'm saying. The only concern that I have with this mode is it splitting the player base even further. Now, I will say this. There is a possibility that this could actually bring more players to Fortnite and hold more players onto Fortnite. I think one of the things that Fortnite has been lacking for a long time is hype. I think that this is a really good way, a really nice way of consistently being able to generate hype. Think about it. This is a mode that can not only feature some of the best collabs inside of Fortnite, but also can change the meta of the game every single week. Even Reload doesn't do that. We love Reload for what it is. Reload changes the meta every 3 weeks to about a month, roughly. Sometimes every couple of weeks, depending on how spicy they want to get. But typically it's about once a month the meta really shifts, right? This is a mode that can be updated even more frequently than Reload. It's even faster paced than Reload with a different level of risk. And the different level of risk is you can't just respawn, at least as far as what we're guessing is you're not gonna be able to respawn like you do in a Reload, right? But I have a feeling that there might be I have a feeling that they're gonna put some kind of jailbreak feature in here, which if they do, that's fire. So look, what's the point? Moral of the story, right? Blitz could be the saving grace that a lot of us have been asking for when it comes to like the LTM side of things. Who gave Give me more money.
The Transformers only week with the canon from Chapter 4, Season 3.
It's a Transformers week, but it's just that gun, nothing else. That's the thing. I legitimately think a faster paced battle royale styled mode that can have a strong collab focus or an exotic only focus or a gold weapon only focus. I think that's huge. I'm optimistic about this. I still want to see what effect it's going to have on the player base. That is always a concern of mine with splitting the player base. However, one of the issues that Fortnite has is not so much that there's too many modes necessarily, but it's that the modes that exist are not giving the player base what they want the most out of Fortnite. Ballistic is okay, but just I don't think the average Fortnite player wants to play Ballistic, and that shows by the player count. Rocket Racing, Lego, Festival, those are appealing to a wider demographic of people, and they've got to build that audience up, and they seem to be doing that right now as well. I'm not gonna like freak out and be like, oh my god, this is the worst thing to ever happen. I'm just really intrigued. I'm really curious. This looks like it's gonna be a fire summer update. Plus, we got all the we got new superpowers coming to BR. We got some changes coming to Reload. We're getting a Squid Games map.
You're broke, boy, just say so.
What the? You're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We love y'all. And tell me, what do you think? Hi, chat, say bye to everybody. What do y'all think is the effect of this mode is going to be on the player base and the player count? Are you excited for the mode? What do you think about the potential for this? Let us know in the comment section below. Let's start some arguments. Let's see some people yelling at each other, telling them how stupid they... No, don't do that. Don't yell at each other in the comment section. But definitely use code Clark, all right? We love y'all.